Hi everyone. Today's video has 3 points and you're going to want to stick around because the third point is a secret as to one particular thing you should be doing to drastically increase the sales on your books. That's one of the reasons why in today's video we are going to be discussing unlocking KDP's darkest publishing secret. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what the darkest secret is. You're going to have the steps to avoid the consequences of this particular secret, and you're going to feel great that you're not wasting your time writing books that are never going to sell. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so difficult. I can tell you that it had been difficult when I first got started, but after putting out 200 books onto the market through Amazon KDP, it begins to get a lot easier. But one of the things for a lot of people, it is sitting down and having somebody you can go back and forth with who's actually done this. And this is one of the reasons I always offer a free discovery call. If we've never done one before, never done coaching before, then a free discovery call where we can sit down and go through exactly your book. For more information on this free call, just check out below in the description, and we get started right away with that. So the thing is, Henry was one of my content marketing students. He went through the Content Marketing Made Easy course, and he was trying to get sales on his book to increase. But the challenge he was dealing with was specifically that no matter how much content he put out on his specific book using exactly the steps that I have within the content marketing course, it wasn't really moving the needle. And the question was, what exactly was he doing wrong? And that is what we are going to discuss. So, KDP's darkest secret. Let's get right on into it. So the first thing you need to know is that the vast majority of books on Amazon are only selling 1 to 2 copies a year. They do a terrible, the amount of sales is so ridiculously small, it's almost painful. In fact, I've even heard some people comment that Amazon doesn't even make money so much off of the publishing business. It's rather to pull people in to keep them on their website so that they can take advantage of other sales that they make with a whole series of other products. But with regards to specifically Amazon KDP, the first thing to remember is the vast majority of books are just not selling. And the question is, what exactly is going on? But I don't want to cut ahead of myself into the secret yet. The second thing is the content of your book will not compensate for a failure to optimize the book. And when we talk about optimization, we're talking about your cover, your title, and your subtitle. All of these things play a very important role at getting your book specifically to start selling on Amazon. And so if you're choosing the wrong side on that, you may be thinking the content itself will pull it through because you're such a wonderful writer. The painful aspect of this is that if your marketing is off, nobody's even going to read what you have written. And how exactly can you win? It'd be kind of like if you have cows on a farm that are producing a lot of milk, and it is absolutely amazing, but then you put it into cartons that are all sort of misshapen and the labeling is sort of off. The question is, why do you imagine that the milk that you're selling is going to be flying off the shelves when your supply chain's unreliable and your marketing is terrible and all of these other aspects of the sale of the milk is completely out of alignment? In fact, I would tell you, you're not going to make any sales on this milk. And then often the person would say, but my milk is so amazing. And I'm telling you, your books can be absolutely fantastic. The content of them, the stories you're writing, the how-tos, the helping people with self-help can be unbelievably fantastic, but it still will not actually help you get the sales that you're going to need for your books as a result, because you are not paying attention to the marketing side on optimization. But that brings us into the specific secret answer of the day, and that is that if there are no hungry readers in the market on Amazon KDP that you're looking to sell to, there's not going to be sales. Now, what exactly do we mean by hungry readers? And the answer is, these are people who are looking to buy a particular type of book, a book on a particular subject or theme or something along those. And I was dealing with Henry and his books in particular, and we took a close look and we noticed we could not find any bestsellers. We couldn't find any books that were ranked in the top 100,000 for his specific book, right? And that was a very, very bad sign. When you're looking at getting a book onto the market, you do not want to find yourself in a situation where you can't find a single book that's actually selling within your specific market that you're trying to target on Amazon. We want to find a series of books that are selling, but that's only part of the equation. That reminds me of Philip, another one of my clients in the past. He was actually dealing with the same thing, but in the other direction. He was doing coloring books, and we looked up coloring books on Amazon. And we found 70,000 coloring books. Now, if you look at the selling, you would find lots of them that are doing really, really well. But the downside of those books was the fact that his books were being lost among the 70,000 books on that market. So these were also not hungry readers. They have so much to choose from. They could buy one of these, one of those. You're going to be out-marketed by a lot of these books. Maybe they're running more ads than you're running, have a bigger ad spend. There's lots of things they can do in order to ensure they're going to beat you on the coloring book sale game because there's just so many of them. So what we want to do is find the combination of these two, where you see a lot of sales that are coming through, but very few books on the market. And that tells us we have some hungry readers, meaning if you put your book and it's optimized like we talked about in tip number 2, and we take that optimized book of yours and we put it onto Amazon, what's going to happen is when they do the search on those keywords we're using in the title and subtitle using KD Spy, like I always tell you, my affiliate links below in the description, that's our specific tool we use in order to identify the rank order of these books for the search term that you're looking for your specific book. If we see that your books are going to end up showing up on page 1 of the search results on Amazon. And when that happens, and if your book looks very similar to the absolute bestsellers, then what's going to happen is you're going to start peeling off some of their sales. And those sales are going to start coming towards your book as opposed to their book. And as a result, we're going to start building an audience. Now, I hope you have an email list and all these other things, but at a minimum, we definitely want to see if we can start to increase the sales that we're making on your book by, 1, optimizing the book, but making sure it's in a market where hungry readers can be found. And I'm going to tell you, if it was like either of these two other ones, one was there's 70,000 books, just too many books in that market, or the other, which is I can't find a single book like the book that I'm publishing, but it's wonderful because of the contents of the book. The problem is that your contents alone are not going to give you the ability to overcome the fact there are no readers for that type of book. Now, it could be, there are some exceptions to this rule, and I want to say it. Even if there are no hungry readers, if you happen to be an influencer or you're somebody who's already sold a bunch of books, then the fact is, which is functionally makes you an influencer anyways, then you're going to be able to get sales on this book because you're going to be driving traffic to that book without having to be dependent upon searching. People doing search results, searching for something, and then up comes your book. But when they see the book, they should clearly know what kind of book it is and who the book is for just by seeing the cover, the title, and the subtitle. That should make it super clear for your ideal reader to understand this book is for them. And if there are no books on the market on this subject, that is a terrible sign. Huge red flag. Do not write in this genre or subgenre unless we're going for the starving artist. And we've talked a lot about this on the channel. It's the idea that sometimes some people say, I don't even care if my book sells. Well, I can tell you, I've actually run across very few clients of mine who say such a thing, and then after the book comes out and doesn't make any sales, say, oh, well, why am I not making sales? I really want to get these sales going. And I'm like, look, you have to sort of decide. If you want to be a starving artist, that's fine. And there's a secondary way of doing it. It's to become an influencer. As your name becomes associated with the sub-genres that you're writing in, assuming we're choosing profitable ones, you're going to be building up an email list and people who really love to read your stuff. And what are those people going to do? The answer is they're going to look at the latest books you come out with. And so as you start to build up your influence, you can then start coming out with books that are less profitable niches, but at the same time, like as in there's very few books or no books on Amazon on the subject, but you can still get sales because you're bringing your own audience. So, and that is a very important point because those people are going to know, like, and trust you to know that this novel you've written or this self-help book you're writing, that they're going to be meeting their needs, even if nobody on Amazon is currently doing that. And this is actually how you can create a new market. Then you have the early mover impact where you're the first person inside of that market, and now we're able to build up some steam. But if you do not already have an existing audience, where a lot of people, and even, by the way, I've seen this before, you had some maybe famous people this last year, one who put out a book and it just flops when it gets to Amazon because their audience may like them on TikTok in that forum, in the video format. They may trust them what they say, but their audience are not a bunch of readers who want to read this content. They just want to see it on TikTok. And so it can become difficult to move them from one platform over to Amazon in order to start doing it. And that's the reason why I always suggest for 100% of my clients to make sure you check to make sure that it's a profitable market. And that's something we always discuss. This is the absolute top discussion point in every free discovery session that I give to people who click on the link below in the description. So I have a question for you. So what is my question? I want to know, does your book ignore one or more of these issues that I was talking about? Because if it does, I need to know. Write yes below in the comments and write no below in the comments if it does not ignore one or more of these issues. And check up above me here for more videos just like this one. Thanks.